part that you don't want to skip, the most important piece of the puzzle. I always find it so amusing. If you had a set of instructions, why would you skip a step? Like, why would you say to yourself, well, I'm smarter than the instructions and I'm just going to skip this step because it doesn't apply to me? Of course it applies to you. And if you have been struggling in your manifesting, it's probably because you have failed to release the resistance off of your important desire. I'm going to guess that this is the reason why you haven't succeeded yet, because this is the reason why most people haven't succeeded yet. You have to choose to release that grip, that tight grip upon needing to have your desire for dear life. You have to no longer have it be this dreamlike thing that you are reaching for and grasping for. So it's your ego that's sort of tricking you into thinking, well, letting go is nonsense. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why would you do that part? Skip that part. That part is nonsense. Veronica's trying to trick you. She's trying to trick you. No, the ego is trying to trick you. We all have an ego. You'll never not have an ego. So the important part is recognizing this ego that's trying to keep you held back. It's trying to keep you exactly where you are right now, because the ego likes familiarity. It likes to be in the comfort of where it is right now and the disappointments and the failures of where it's been. The ego does not want advancement. It does not want expansion. In fact, it's the exact opposite of everything that will get you a better life. So if letting go is going to equal your desire, of course your ego doesn't want you to have that. Of course your ego doesn't want you to let go. Of course your ego is going to be like, skip that part. So letting go, this word letting go, it seems so mysterious. Letting go is feeling of freedom and totally surrendering the hows of how you get there. So you let go of the need to control and micromanage. I do not force things. I do not prompt something to happen by using force and calculating a way that I think it's going to happen. Again, the way these things happen are not in a way you could have guessed, and that's the magic of life. Like, you want to be surprised, delighted, and wowed. You don't want to know how it's going to happen. You have to no longer have it be this dreamlike thing that you are reaching for and grasping for. And you know what? It may lose its shininess. It may lose its appeal in some ways when you release that grip. But if you're constantly gripping upon a thing, it's always going to remain an idea in your mind that you can never actually have. Creative intelligence is more intelligent than you could ever be, so how is it going to get confused? I always find that amusing as well, that we somehow say that creative intelligence is going to get confused by something we did. That doesn't make sense. If it's the most intelligent substance in the world, more intelligent than you could ever be, but it is you, it is the highest and most creative part of you, why would it not know what you wanted? Just invent an idea of a way that you could be okay if you didn't get this particular thing. But it isn't saying that you want that outcome to happen. It's just admitting that basically it's just allowing yourself to feel better, because once you realize that that is not the only outcome in the entire world that could bring you happiness, it releases that tight grip from you and it is no longer on a pedestal and you can actually experience it. So the reason why you want these things is because that you think it's going to make you feel happy on a daily basis. You're going to feel a purpose in life that you don't otherwise feel. It's as if it's going to complete you. It's going to allow you to feel joy on a level that you can't otherwise feel. But you have to feel this way now. And I know you may be afraid to do this, because then you may be afraid that you no longer want your original desire in the same way you do right now, because right now it may be like a desperation. When you hold something on a pedestal, you feel very desperate for it, because it's like it is going to give you the thing that you don't have right now, that you cannot otherwise give yourself right now. But you can actually give it to yourself right now. You can't actually physically make the experience come to you, but you can embody the emotions, feelings, the sensations, and I don't mean by visualization. I mean the way it's going to make you feel. The sense of completion, the sense of being in love with life. That's why you want the money. That's why you want the person. That's why you want the success. That's why you want the beauty, because it's going to make you feel a sense of being in love with life and a sense of like skipping on air. But see, you can feel that now already. You do not have to wait for the external experience to feel this. And you will never have the external experience until you feel this way first. I promise you. Conscious and deliberate manifestation, it's about seeing yourself with the desire, seeing yourself with the end result. You don't necessarily have to know how you get there. And you shouldn't. Like, the way you get there, especially for something that seems really unlikely to happen, The way you get there is probably a way you never could have guessed. So you don't want to boggle your mind with how you get there. In fact, you want to completely and totally and utterly surrender yourself to the process. So you surrender it and you say, higher self, creative intelligence within me, lead me to it. I know a way exists because I can dream it up. Infinite intelligence, guide my way. It's really all it takes. That is basically surrendering your desires, surrendering the house. We do not figure it out. We do not make a plan as to how to attain it. The part that you don't want to skip, the most important piece of the puzzle. So the fact that you don't know how it's going to happen, that's wonderful, because then when it does happen, it will be this most magical, wonderful thing that you will call a miracle, and it will be in your memory bank of wonderful experiences in your life. So how we get there is releasing the need to control. So that's why not taking action is so important. And what I mean by not taking action is you do take inner action, you do take action in sort of preparing your mental state to match what it would be like to have this result. So you prepare the way in evolving and growing within and doing things that are constructive and bettering for your life right now, that are within your control, within your power. But they're very simple things. They're things that feel exciting to do. They're things that feel very flowy, very effortless, very much even not even related to your desire. So ask yourself right now what you feel inspired to do. Inspired action is basically taking action that feels very much at one with who you are in your best self. You don't take inspired action that feels like a calculated move towards your desire. You take inspired action that feels at one with your highest creative state. One of the biggest eye-opening moments for me was realizing that it was my feelings that was creating my outcomes. Not specifically the thoughts I was thinking or even the affirmations that I was saying, but actually the feelings that I was generating from doing these things. But we don't want to analyze them like, how did I get to this point? How you got here isn't nearly as important as where you're going. Because the good life is waiting for you. It's meant for you. You can dream it up because it exists. A way exists, and don't let yourself forget it. Don't let that ego hold you back. Don't let the ego keep you in suffering. Don't let the ego hold you back from what you would otherwise experience. Let go of the need to control, of micromanaging, of forcing things into existence. Let it flow. When you let things flow, the most miraculous things happen in your life, and that is what makes life worth living. When you let it flow, the most miraculous, wonderful things happen in life. Those are the experiences that you are seeking. So let the magic in. Don't forget to enroll in my free 10-day Manifesting Miracles course. Subscribe for instant manifestation, all those tips, tricks, and hacks that I know you need. And get my personal one-on-one mentorship, dreamlifebyveronica.com.